Alright, so this is my She-Hulk episode 8 review. And it was just a silly episode where Leapfrog is talking to Jen about him being a superhero named Leapfrog and how his suit malfunctioned. Now, of course, we see what actually happened. He made it sound like he's this really scary superhero, and the guys were just there like, what is this? Who are you? So Jen agrees to take the case that it was a malfunctioning suit. Unfortunately, I knew immediately who made the suit, and it was Luke. And so Jen tries to get out of it because she really wants Luke to make her dress for the gala, and she knows that this is going to end badly. Now, she tried to be nice to him, but Luke decided to be a dick. Now, I don't completely blame him because his work was being questioned, but instead of him asking questions like, what kind of fuel did he use? Everyone decides to be children and not ask follow-up questions because I guess we don't do that anymore. We just get mad. So, he basically destroys the dress he was making for her, and she's like, yeah, now you're getting sued. So, I mean, yeah, he was mad that his work was being called into question, but pissing off a lawyer who is trying to find the best way out of this for everybody probably was not the best idea. So, so they take it to court, and it turns out Matt is the lawyer. So obviously, in the world of the MCU, there is no such thing as lawyers who specialize, because even Matt, who was a criminal lawyer, is doing cases like this. So he walks in, and as they're talking back and forth between Jen and Matt, he asks Leapfrog, what kind of fuel did he use? Oh, or actually, did you use jet fuel? And he happily said yes. And Luke goes crazy. He's like, that is not what I told you to do. I told you what kind of fuel to use. So the judge dismisses the case because Jen's client was an idiot. Jen is upset because her client is a bigger idiot than she realized. So she's at Legalese, and Matt buys her a drink, an appletini, which actually looked really good and sounded good. And so they're flirting. And I'm sure that there's a lot of people who are going to get upset that Matt is not as hardcore as he was in his Netflix series. But this is a freaking comedy. What exactly were you expecting? Besides, he started getting hardcore later on. So they're flirting. And so she gets a text from Todd about a legal matter. So she's like, okay. Well, Matt has to leave because he has a legal matter of his own, which we find out later. So Jen goes to meet with Todd. And what the hell is it with these rich boys who think that they're God's gift to women? Especially when said woman is She-Hulk. And she could, pin you against a wall. Actually pancake you against a wall. And not in a good way. So, apparently the Wakandan spear was stolen. Shocker. And so he wants to be able to keep it, even though he acquired stolen goods. When in reality, no. Just because you didn't know it was stolen doesn't mean that you own it. You get your money back, and no, it's not yours. So then he's trying to hit on She-Hulk, and She-Hulk is like, oh, ew, just ew, and pins him with the table. And he should be lucky that that's all she did. So she walks away, and she goes home and gets a call from Leapfrog saying that, his life is in danger. And she's like, because you're in a fight, or you're, what's happening? And so he explains sort of what's happening. She manages to track his number and where he is. And decides to use the super suit that Luke had made for her. So she stops the car, and Matt, Daredevil, comes spinning out from behind it, and they start fighting, which was fun. You knew that wasn't gonna last long. The twist was that Leapfrog had kidnapped Luke Jacobson. Now, she got upset that, why didn't you just say that up front? And he's like, well, you didn't really give me a chance. Well, you're kind of in a devil costume. So what was I supposed to think? So he agreed that, yeah, she has a point. Had never heard of Daredevil. He had that I'm Daredevil dramatic pause, and she's like, nope, never heard of it. And, which, considering the way she views superheroes, I guess it makes sense that she wouldn't have heard of Daredevil. Not only is he in Hell's Kitchen, but she really isn't into that sort of thing. And plus he's a street level superhero. He's not like the Avengers. So, she finds out that her stupid client is stupider than she realized. He's just getting dumber and dumber. He's now we're not going to get into how he managed to kidnap Luke Jacobson. He does have goons. I love how she kept calling them hench goons, because Matt explained to her the difference between goons and henchmen. And they do more flirting. I thought they were going to seriously kiss when they were watching what's going on, and they were talking, and he was saying things like, I can hear their heartbeats, I can hear your heartbeats. And, at first she thought that he was pretending to be blind, and a lot of people do when they realize how powerful he is, but, you know, but he's blind. So, they come up with a plan, and Matt wants to take the lead because he does the superhero thing. She's never done the superhero thing. Well, technically she did do it once with Wong, but for the most part, you know, this is not something she's done. And we find out she can't do math because he's like, 25 henchmen, it's gonna take me, 10 seconds per henchman, I think, or something. And she turned it into half an hour. It's like, no, he's at 10 seconds, not 10 minutes. What's going on? So you start off seeing him like you've seen him on the Netflix series, which was him kicking butt way too easily. And so you see a bunch of guys, and they're about to take on Daredevil, which we all know that that's going to end badly for them. We know that. But She-Hulk came down and took care of them. And Matt's like, oh, God. So, of course, that alerted everyone to their presence. So they go into the main part of the warehouse, and they start fighting the goons. And Leapfrog is like, She-Hulk, you're supposed to be representing me. You're supposed to be helping me. And she's like, yeah, I am helping you from getting into more trouble than you already have. And so one of the guys tries to hit her with a crowbar. And she's just like, what do you think you're trying to do? Do you really think that's going to work with me? So she takes care of business and helps Luke get out. And at first, it seems like she's going to talk her way out and talk Eugene down, talk Leapfrog down, get him to realize that what he did was really stupid because what exactly was this going to... What exactly were you accomplishing? I mean, you're the one who fucked up. Why kidnap Luke? I mean, obviously, his response to him was the same as Jen. Yeah, I'm not helping you anymore because you questioned my integrity. I'm not doing this. But kidnapping him? How is that going to do anything? If I were Luke, I would, create a costume for him meant to explode or something and kill him off or at least maim him, which he managed to do on his own, but still, he did not deserve any actual effort from Luke. So he tries to jump out of a window because apparently he thinks he's an actual frog or something, and I think broke both his legs. It's certainly by the way he was in pain. I'm assuming that's what ended up happening. And of course, Matt takes off because that's what Matt does. And so she's chatting with him, asking him when is he leaving. When is he going back to Hell's Kitchen? Tomorrow. So the inevitable happened. They ended up having sex. And I've already seen complaints about that because She-Hulk is a playgirl, that she will sleep with whomever flirts with her. Well, not exactly. She basically is making it so Todd can't reproduce. I mean, depending on where she actually managed to pin him. But, so yeah. But in the comics, that's her thing. She has one-night stands. And you really can't blame her for going that route because, first off, she slept with this guy. I thought his name was Todd. And, he was like totally not into Jen, just into She-Hulk. So that was an unintentional one night stand. Then she meets Josh, who thinks really likes her for her and ghosts her. And we, unfortunately, at the end of the episode, find out what he did with that. But, he, so, you can't blame her for saying, you know what, screw this, I'm just gonna have fun and not, pine for a boyfriend. Can't blame her. She keeps getting screwed over, so why not just have fun? So, she's happily wandering around her apartment, and you see Matt barefoot, but in his Daredevil costume. And which I can only imagine is how Charlie Cox sometimes goes home at night after the Daredevil series. So Nikki comes in and asking about the guy in the devil costume doing a walk of shame, and it became obvious that they had sex. And so Nikki was here to get her ready for the gala. And for the Lawyer of the Year gala. And so she goes up there along with the other women from her law firm, I guess, because Mallory was there and a bunch of other women were there. And so as someone asks, what's it like being a female lawyer? And Mallory's response was perfect. Among other things, she said that it's annoying that she keeps getting asked, what's it like to be a female lawyer? Because, dude, seriously? And that's what I love about this show. It's basically telling men that, why are you treating women like an other? Why are you assuming that because you're a female lawyer that somehow you're different than being a male lawyer? You're a lawyer. What gender you identify as or what sex you were born as makes no difference. Except for the fact that men say stupid shit like that to you. So it's basically pointing out to men, because, not all men do that. Some men are actually treat women like human beings. And, oh yeah, you're a lawyer, okay. But it's a good way to point out to those men who think that women are this strange race of beings that they're not. They're not. They're humans, just like you. Nothing different. Anyway. So it gets to Jen, and she starts trying to fumble her way through this. And the intelligentsia takes over the presentation. And you first see and hear Eugene's voice and Leapfrog. So makes you wonder if everybody she's had an encounter with that wasn't part of the law firm was part of the intelligentsia, because we see Leapfrog. I wouldn't be surprised if Todd wasn't a part of it, and that other guy that she actually slept with, if he wasn't a part of the intelligentsia. And so they start, and they mention that, She-Hulk isn't who you think she is. And Jen's like, yeah, everybody knows who I am. I don't have a secret identity. And then they point out that she's a slut. How, okay, what exactly was on her phone that, I don't know, maybe Josh took a video of them doing it or something, but that was after 3 dates. One guy. Not a slut. But she goes savage. Even though Mallory's saying, Jen, don't do it. Don't do it, Jen. And Jen goes savage. And everybody is freaking out and running out of the building. And I really thought that this would be somebody that they created their own She-Hulk. But apparently they were just trying to ruin her reputation. There's still an episode, so maybe in the finale there's going to be a rival She-Hulk. But anyway, so she goes savage. She finds the guy who was behind this, and he has a mask on, so we don't know who it is. It's possible it was Eugene. I mean, he's that much of a dunderhead. But, so she grabs him, and Nikki is trying to tell her, stop, She-Hulk, stop what you're doing. And so she was savage for a hot minute. And then she calmed down and put her hands up as guns were trained on her. And I'm just like, you gotta, this is actually proof that Jen has control. Because do you really think those men with those guns would be able to stop her if she went full on savage and never came back? No. But her reputation is now ruined. So it'll be interesting to see in the finale how she takes care, how she handles this. Because in the comics, she's a part of society. She is not like her cousin, which they accused her of taking the powers of the Hulk or something, as if she's, I don't know what they were implying, that she slept with Bruce. I thought it was a well known that this is her cousin. So why they're making it sound like she's some cheap knockoff, that she stole the powers of the Hulk somehow, like the Hulk doesn't exist. Which at the time he's off-world. So it's not like Bruce could come to Jen's rescue and say, no, I'm still here. I just had business off-world. Now, in the trailer, I did see that the 3 of them were clinking glasses at his bar. So, maybe next episode he comes in and helps her out. And this is a great way to integrate them both into society, because Bruce is the one who's crying about how he's being seen as a monster, and yet that's why he's separate. So maybe this is some way of bringing him back into society. But or maybe she hides out in Emil Blonsky's retreat, because we did also see in the trailers that he does turn back into the Abomination. So maybe he helps Jen some more, because she obviously needs to get away, and I doubt she's going to go to Hell's Kitchen. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Jen takes care of this issue because her parents were there. So I doubt that she would feel comfortable going to them. Maybe she would because hell, they've dealt with Bruce, and he was savage from the very beginning. It's only recently became Professor Hulk. So maybe that is a safe place for her to go. So yeah, or Carmartage. Maybe she'll call Wong because I can't remember if magic is if she if the Hulks are susceptible to magic or not. That I don't remember. So yeah, she's got a problem, and I assume next episode the problem will be solved. I hope it's a longer episode because this one was like 36 minutes. That's pretty much the longest any of the episodes have been, I think. So it would be nice if it was a longer episode so they can take their time because I assume that it's going to just be dealing with this fallout and getting people to trust her again and assuring people she isn't going to go savage because I mean, or point out that being accused of being a slut is not that big of a deal. I think it's more the video of her having sex probably is what set her off more so than being called a slut, I hope. Because who cares if they think you're a slut? Big deal. Um let's see if there's anything else from this episode. Um hmm. I can't think of anything. I think I've got everything. So, I will see you guys next time.